Bishop family. And John, I also want to acknowledge that I reckon it was 5 or 6 years ago, not long after I started at the History Trust, that you called me up for a coffee and put this challenge and this gap and this opportunity to me. And I want to commend you and your family and Judith for your persistence with this. Some good things are worth waiting for. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Mr. John Bishop AM.
Thank you very much indeed, and I'm going to resort to a bit of reading because my memory's terrible these days and I'm not even sure who I am at times. But my grandfather, Henry James Bishop, was born in 1878 to a fruit and vegetable growing family at Eldervale near Morton Summit. He was baptised as Henry James, and as you've heard, he preferred to be called Harry. So Harry will be for the rest of my discussion. Now, Geoffrey Bishop, who's here today, was his brother, and his brother wrote a book that There Cherries Grow, the Bishops of Eldervale. And it's a very interesting story of the history of the family, and I've resorted to quite a bit of reference to Geoffrey's book in the few little notes that I've made. Harry worked in the East End market, and in 1905, with the help of his father, John James Bishop, he acquired the South Australian operations of a Western Australian firm of Silbert and Sharp and set them up as Silbert, Sharp and Bishop in Adelaide. Harry served as managing director of Silbert, Sharp and Bishop from 1905 onwards and built up a thriving business for over 30 years. In 1920, he was invited by Thomas Brooker, the chairman of the Adelaide Fruit and Produce Exchange, to join the board. And in Brooker's retirement in 1928, he became chairman, a position which he held for a further 10 years until his death in 1938 at the age of only 60. The business that he established eventually became, if not one, largest of the largest buildings operations in the markets. As it happens, I now live in an apartment on the corner of East Terrace and Grenfell Street, which used to be Silbert, Sharp Bishop's drive-through potato store. So I can say good day with potatoes every now and again. Apart from his market activities, Harry had a number of commercial interests, and among other things, he had a very good sense of humour. He was a great friend of Tom Playford's, who became Premier of South Australia in 1938. We have a letter written, dated 8th of November 1938, from the newly appointed Premier to Harry. My father tells me that Harry had written to Tom congratulating him on becoming Premier and enclosing an order for one new hat from Levers, saying he hoped Tom wouldn't need to change for a bigger hat later in his term. The Premier's reply was, "Please accept my sincere thanks for your letter of the 4th, conveying congratulations on my accession to office as Premier, and also for the open order for a hat. This is the first time I've got something for nothing from you. I value the order so much, I'm very loath to part with it. At present, I'm attaining estimates for framing it." And what I found out from my father, that was Tom's way of saying he was never going to cash the voucher, because he never said he would accept anything for his other salary as Premier.